Hey, before we start off, I want to friendly ask you to like, subscribe, and click on the bell! Now let's continue with this video. In this video, I want to explain a very important thing, and that is how you can add alerts to Tradingview. And I will show you two examples. The first one is to set up an alert whenever a trend line breaks. And you can see on this chart, I have this pattern. You can see this is the support area. Over here, we have the resistance line. So let's say I want to see an alert whenever the price action goes below the pattern or above the pattern. In that case, I would have to add two alerts, and the first one is for the lower line. And how to do that is you go to the line, select it, then click on the right mouse button, and over here you can see this option at the top, add alert on trendline. Click on it. Now you see this window will pop up. Over here you can see the symbol, in this case it's BTC USD. The next option is, by default it's set on crossing, so that means you can set up an alert whenever the trend line is crossed. Over here you can see the options. By default it's set to only once, and that means that the alert will only trigger once and will not be repeated, so that's just for a one-time signal. The option next to it is once per bar, so that means that the alert will trigger every time the condition is met, but not more than one time per bar. So that's also very helpful. The option below is once per bar close. That's the one that I normally use. And what this means, it will only give an alert when the trend line is broken after a bar close. So sometimes it also wicks down below. And if you want to be more sure, just wait for the bar close, and then you can set up this option. And you have another one that's once per minute, but this option I normally don't use. And over here you can see the alert actions. By default it's set to notify on app, show pop-up, but if you want you can also make sure to send an email, so that means an email will be sent whenever the alert goes off. And you can also add a webhook URL, but I normally always use these two. Over here you can set up an alert name, and in this case I want to add something like tutorial trend line break lower line, and I also add the time frame, and in this case it's the 1 hourly time frame. Then I'll copy this and I also add it to the box below, text box, because then I have all the info that is needed whenever the alert goes off, and then you can see it right away in the notifications. After that you are all done, then you can click on create, and if you do that, now you see that also this icon will appear next to the line. So you see this icon over here, this symbol, and that indicates that the alert has been set for the trend line. Repeat those steps. We can also set it for the upper trend line. So I'll show you one more time. Select the line, click on the right mouse button, add alert on trend line. Now I'll set it to once per bar close. For the name, I'll add the same name, but then change lower to upper line, like this. Copy it and paste it. Click on create to add the alert, and now you can see, let me go to a bigger time frame. It's easier to see because it's a very large trend line. You can see that the symbol has been added as well. That means that now an alert will be fired off whenever closes below or above these trend lines on the bar close on the 1 hourly time frame. So that are the conditions for this alerts, and now I will show you another example, and that is how you can set up an alert on an indicator. So in this case I want to add the alert to, for example, the RSI indicator. And with the RSI, important things to get notified of are the crosses for the middle line, and also the upper line and the lower line. And the lower line is the 30 line, the middle line is the 50 line, and the upper line is the 70 line. And how you can add an alert: first you have to click on this arrow down. If you hover over it, you can see show indicator legend. Click on it. Now go to the indicator for which you want to set the alert for. Click on this option, the three dots with more. And after you have clicked on it, you can see the first option is add alert on RSI. So I'll select that. Now you see the same screen again as also for setting up the trendline alerts. In this case, you can see that condition contains RSI RSI over here. You can see by default it's set to crossing, but you can also select other options. But in this case, I'll leave it at crossing. And over here you can set the value. So let's say I want to add the alert whenever the RSI line breaks below or above the 50 line, which is the middle line. Then you can set it up to 50. Over here at options, I'll set it to barclose again. So select it. I'll leave everything as it is. Now I want to enter an alert name. So I'll copy and paste the name for the trend lines. And I'll now change this to RSI 50 line break. Copy it. And also add it in this screen. After that you can click on create to add the alert. Now you can see that the alert has been added and you can recognize it by this orange arrow to the left and also on the point in the middle line. And then you know that the alert has been added. You can also do it for the MACD. Same way. Click on this icon. Click on add alert on MACD in this case. And over here you can set up the conditions. What's good to keep in mind is that you have multiple options. In this case it's set to histogram, but if I click on it you also see MACD and you see signal. If you don't know what these represents, then you can close this, go to the indicator, click on the settings option, that's this icon over here. You can see settings. If you hover over it, click on it, and then you can see the MACD line is in this case the blue line, the signal line is the orange line, and the histogram speaks for itself. So then you can set alerts when specific things happen regarding the lines or the histogram. There's one thing I want to mention, and that is how you can go to your alerts, and that's by going to this icon over here. You can see the alert symbol, click on it, and there you can see an overview of the alerts that you have created. So in this case, you can see the alert for the RSI, for the upper trend line, lower trend line. And if you want to change the condition or you want to change something in the settings, you can go to the settings option, the edit option over here, click on it, and there you can see all the settings if you have done them previous. Over here you can see more actions. If you click on it, now you can see that the play sound option is visible. And over here you can also set up the sound that you want to display whenever the alert goes off. So play around with it. Over here you can see alerts log. I have cleaned mine and the conditions haven't met for the alerts to fire off yet. But if that's the case, then you will see the alert mentioned over here. So that way you can see what alert has gone off and at what time. If you want to hide this option, you can click on the alarm again, like this, and click on it to view everything. So that's everything you need to know about alerts. If you have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comments. If you want to know how to set up alerts for specific indicators, for example, if you don't know how to figure it out, make sure to let me know. I will reply to your comment or I will make a video about it. I hope you found this video helpful. If that's the case, I want to friendly ask you to like, subscribe, and click on the bell. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and I hope to see you back again in another video.